It's time to bring on the blooms at the Home Depot with spring garden deals. Find savings on hanging baskets and flowers to brighten your backyard or any space that needs instant color. Then get everything you need to plant and protect them with low prices guaranteed on soil and mulch. Dig into spring garden deals for 4 days at the Home Depot. Now through May 10th. Exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
Ready to soundtrack your summer? With Red Bull Summer All Day Play, you choose a playlist that fits your summer vibe the best. Are you a festival fanatic, a deep end DJ, a road dog, or a trail mixer? Just add a song to your chosen playlist and put your summer on track. Red Bull Summer All Day Play. Red Bull gives you wings. Visit redbull.com/brightsummer ahead to learn more. See you this summer.
There's a part of me that you never know. Push it deep inside, got nowhere to go. It's like a song that's too quiet. It's like a slow growing riot, and I'm never gonna change. So stop asking why I'm acting awful strange. Burn you like a lava flow, plate ain't ever coming down. Maybe I'm a love strike kind of girl, just might be confused about it. Love me tonight, hate me tomorrow, I'ma let you down. Love me tonight, hate me tomorrow, that's how it goes around. There's so many to see. He's like a demon.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to another Hook Rocks episode. I'm your host, Jay Scott. We are part of the Pantheon Podcast Network, great network of music-related podcasts. Find them on pantheonpodcast.com and social media platforms, Pantheon Pods on both Twitter and Facebook. You can find us on Twitter and follow us at The Hook Rocks, and like us on Facebook at The Hook Rocks. Also, follow us wherever you do podcasts, whether it's Spotify, Amazon, Apple. We are on every platform, so check us out there. Give us a like, write us a review, and don't forget to set your app to automatic download. So every time we do a new episode, which is a few times a week, it drops right to your phone and makes your day 10 times better. We've got more great music in 2021 to talk about. Every band that has released an album has been swinging for the fences this year, and this one is no different. I'm talking about the new LA Guns album, Checkered Past. I have to tell you, folks, this band continues to do it. I had this conversation with Phil Lewis earlier this week, the lead singer. And a lot of bands like to talk about a resurgence. A lot of bands like to say that they're creating just the music that's just as good as it was back in their prime and in their heyday. There's no other band from that era that continues to make music that is either equal to the music that they released during the MTV decade than LA Guns. I'm telling you. Bands may talk about it. LA Guns is doing it. Their last 3 albums, Missing Piece, Devil You Know, and now Checkered Past, are like a phenomenal trilogy. In fact, this album, and I stated this on Twitter either today or yesterday, this is their best album since Cocked and Loaded. This album, to me, is probably the most layered album that they've ever done. And what I mean by that is picture a canvas, and you're going to paint on a canvas, right? This album's got so many colors, so many different shades. It's fantastic. Sonically, I know there's always been an issue with a lot of fans with how their albums have sounded in the past. This album is fantastic sonically. It really is. And you really do get and hear the synergy of the band and what they've been able to accomplish. The songwriting is fantastic. The melodies. Tracy Guns, I'm sorry, just does not get the credit he is due for being one of the great rock and roll guitar players of all time. I've been guilty of that, underrating him, and he shines on this album. Him and Phil Lewis are such on the same page, and you can tell. And it shows in the music, it shows in this album, it shows in the recording of the last 3 albums, including this one. The album starts off incredible. It really just punches you in the gut. It walks all over you, and it keeps going. It doesn't stop. When you think of Cannonball, Bad Luck Charm, and Living Right Now, the album just, man, it is quite a sequence of 3 songs that I'm trying to think of another album that sounds like that or starts like that. It sets the tone, sets the atmosphere, or creates an atmosphere, and asks the listener, are you ready to rock? Because if you're not, you better buckle up because we're hitting the road. And you're either going to be with us or you're going to be left behind. The next song, Get Along, which I freaking love. Tracy Guns does not play acoustic guitar enough. Or he's never sounded like this on a LA Guns album. At least I can't remember. And he shines through this whole song, through the album, but through this whole song. It's a very Led Zeppelin 3, Physical Graffiti, Black Country Woman type of song. There's elements of some Going to California and maybe a little bit of Battle Evermore. Very folky. It's fantastic. I've never heard the band sound like that. And like I said, at least I can't remember. Sometimes I was in a haze back then, so forgive me. But this song is my second favorite song on the album because it just delivers. It really kind of brings it all together early on in the album, and you've got your rockers in front of it. This song is a pleasant surprise. I was not expecting this from LA Guns, and I love it. Really, really enjoyed it. If It's Over Now, Better Than You, Love Better Than You, Knock Me Down is a song that will resonate with LA Guns fans, as will Dog. But the song that is the masterpiece, and I think it's the best song they've ever recorded, is the song Let You Down. When I first heard it, I was floored, and I continue to be floored because you keep hearing different things that maybe you didn't hear the first time or the second time. It creates a mood. I don't know if another LA Guns song has ever been able to create an atmosphere like this, where you feel like you're in a dark alley and there's this dim street light and there's no leaves on the trees, and it's cold and it's damp outside. It just creates such an ambiance of not darkness, but just the unknown, right? I mean, you don't know where the song is going, which is really cool, right? Because it starts out with this menacing tone and it just builds and it just keeps building. And you honestly, as a listener, you don't know which way it's going to turn and how it's going to go. And that's why I say the best LA Guns song I've ever heard is Let You Down. You be the judge. You listen to it. You tell me what you think. But it's a holy shit moment on a great album. The album continues with That Ain't Why and Physical Itch, ends on Physical Itch. And by the way, if you hear the guitar in the background, that's my son practicing. He's got an audition next week. But this album, again, I can't say enough about it. I can't say enough about what they have accomplished over the past 6 years, I think, 5-6 years with the 3 albums, Missing Piece, Devil You Know, and now Checkered Past. And like I said, there is not a band from that era that has had a resurgence like them in terms of the quality of music that they are putting out. Not the Def Leppards, not the Bon Jovis, not the Motley Crues. None of those bands from that period have been able to put together 3 incredible albums, one after the other, during modern rock times, during times like this. Not one of those bands. You hear the latest Bon Jovi album? Def Leppard had some moments on their latest album, but 3 albums. Motley Crue, they released that EP and they released a song for The Dirt, a couple songs for The Dirt or whatever, but nothing like LA Guns. 3 albums, 3 full-length albums that are on par and in some areas better than their debut, than Cocked and Loaded, and Hollywood Vampires. And Hollywood Vampires came out 30 years ago. The proof is in the music, folks. And this is an album you got to purchase in 2021. I kid you not. It's a really, really great album. 2017 was Missing Piece, so 4 years. 4 years it's been. It feels like longer because of the pandemic, but this is special when you think of where they've come from and what the band has gone through during kind of the lost years after 1991, trying to figure themselves out, Vicious Circle, American Hardcore, lots of ins and outs with people coming in and out of the band. And Phil talks about that in the interview, and that's really indicative of what the industry is right now. It's not an LA Guns problem. I mean, you look at LA Guns, you look at, George Lynch's band, who's always has people coming in and out. I don't know I know for a fact nobody wants to keep making lineup changes, but based on the fact that the music industry right now is so fragmented and fractured, and people are chasing the dollar, musicians are chasing the dollar because they got to eat and they got to live, it's hard to hang on to a band because, they might get hooked onto a tour. They might get paid more money here. You got to make that decision. Do I do this tour? Do that tour? Do I play with this band? It's not as cut and dry as it was 30 years ago. But they've come through it, and they've landed on a really good place. And whatever they're doing, however they're getting along again, I hope it continues. I have no reason to think it won't. They are making fantastic music, and you should applaud them. Whether you like them or not, whether LA Guns is your thing or not, they are a band that is really talking the talk right now and walking the walk. I know they just switched drummers. Scott Coogan is no longer with the band, but you got Ace Von Johnson, who I've had on the show. Great guest, great dude, great follow on social media at Ace Von Johnson. Johnny Martin on bass, and Shane Fitzgibbon is back on drums, replacing Scott Coogan, who I don't know if he appeared on any of the studio albums, but I know he toured with them on the last tour. I know I saw them at the Rock House in Dundee, which was a great show, near capacity show. And I look forward to seeing them with my son, the Youth Rocks, come New Year's Eve at the Whiskey Go-Go. I know it's going to be pretty special for him to be at the world-famous Whiskey Go-Go. It's an all-ages show. He's 16. He'll be just before his 17th birthday, so that should be a hell of a good time. I'm really excited to see him. I'm really excited to hear the new songs. I'm waiting for my pre-order to come, so hopefully that comes tomorrow or shortly thereafter. But this album is something you should pick up if you're a fan of the sleaze rock genre or rock and roll or 80s bands, whatever you want to define it as. It does call back to their history. It also calls back to a lot of their influences like Bowie and Led Zeppelin. But it also has a very cool modern sound to it. And like I said, they should be applauded for this album. They should be really given their due credit, because I know they're a band that kind of gets slighted, unfortunately, by a lot of the critics. And again, who cares what the critics say? But I don't know how you can listen to this album and not call it what it is. A great rock and roll album. Bar none. Absolutely. 100%. A great rock and roll album. I know they're going to be touring with Faster Pussycat, and I can't remember the third band on the bill. I think, Tom Kiefer, which that's going to be incredible. That's going to be a great tour. Tom Kiefer puts on a great show. He's great live, got a great band, as well as Faster Pussycat. I haven't seen Faster Pussycat since I was 12 years old at the Aragon Ballroom in Chicago. They used to call it the Aragon Ballroom, and they opened up for Frehley's Comet and Y&T. So it's going to be a long time since I've seen Faster Pussycat, but I plan on going to that show. This is a highly recommended album of 2021 in a list of great, fantastic albums. This is a must-get for any rock and roll fan. And if you haven't listened to LA Guns since Cocked and Loaded, this is a good place to start. It really is. Get Along, Let You Down. Those are my two favorites. Check it out. Enjoy it. It's coming out here in a couple hours. Rock out to it all day tomorrow. And leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree with me on how fantastic this album is. Like to hear your thoughts. Like to hear what you have to say. Always look forward to hearing other people's opinions. But this is the album you need to get for November 12th, 2021. One of the best albums released this quarter. Definitely. So, LA Guns, Checkered Past, Frontier Records. Go get it. Enjoy it. We'll talk soon.
300 Favorite Albums with James Campion.
I don't think there's an album I know better front to back. I learned how to play guitar to a lot of these songs.
If I could pick one record to hand someone and say, this is what it feels like to be a woman, it would be this record.
You know, the engineer that was recording the album for us was a novice engineer. He was really the janitor.
The first half of these sessions for the album were totally improvisatory in the sense that they went into the studio and just dealt with whatever happened.
There was space that was left for these listeners to kind of discover it for themselves. That they would say, yeah, my parents listened to it, but I had to build my own relationship to it.
Happiness, good living, peace, love, rock and roll. I just feel like this album is such a wonderful translation of that concept.
People understood they were in a world historical moment, and it felt like it was going to last forever. In fact, the infinite spaces that they explored in The Giant Now is part of what made that explosion so huge.